Yeah, I mean, again, guys stepping up, knowing their job, knowing their assignment, and going out there and executing. Can be cleaner. That's me.
Yeah, we had game plan something, we were trying to get it, and just made a bad decision.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode. Please like the video and subscribe. Our target is only 1,000 likes. So the last time the Buffalo Bills started a season 8-2 was 1993, corresponding to the last time they made it to a Super Bowl. The team will hope to repeat that feat after improving to 8-2 on this campaign. After a 30-20 win over the Indianapolis Colts, the Bills now turned their attention to a hotly anticipated Week 11 match against the Kansas City Chiefs. Josh Allen was off at times, including a terrible pass that resulted in an interception. The Colts turned that into a touchdown on the ensuing drive. He also missed a wide-open Dalton in the first quarter that would have ended in 6. With Keon Coleman and Amari Cooper out, it was to be expected. It was an up-and-down game for Allen and the Bills, but the team still scored 30 points with some help from the defense.
Yeah, I mean, again, guys stepping up, knowing their job, knowing their assignment, and going out there and executing. Can be cleaner. That's me. So again, just making sure we're communicating well, and just trying to hold on to the football, and we got to play better on offense.
How big is that drive at the end that played away? I mean, it was still a game.
Yeah, that was awesome. And we always talk about ending the game on our terms, and having the ball. I don't know. There's probably 7-8 minutes left. I'm not really quite sure. But going down there and getting 6 the way we did it, it was a long, grueling drive, and got a lot of guys that just gritted it out. And guys are hurt, playing through injuries. So I'm proud of our guys.
8-2 now, best start of your career, best start under Coach McDermott, best start for the Bills since 1993. After all the talk this offseason, what's the feeling being at this point at 8-2?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to get to 8 wins through 10 games. Still got a lot of season left, so we're not really looking at it as that. It's just really on to the next one.
Hey, Josh, 2 passes, 44 to Hollins, end of first half. When you're scrambling, when did you see him?
Saw him late. Saw a linebacker kind of underneath him and put one in the air for a little bit. He said that window the sun was kind of peeking through, so he couldn't really see it. So I'm just glad that he was able to secure it. Got out of bounds, and getting points before half was really big for us. So yeah, very proud of our guys for that 2-minute drill.
Then the slip screen, the Shakir that got 30. When you watch him,
that was the biggest. I went up to him and said that's the biggest play of the game. 3rd and 8. We understood what type of pressure that they were going to bring there. Had an alert on it. We saw it. We alerted it, and guys went out there and made some plays. But again, his contact balance running through would-be tacklers and staying on his feet. He's very elite at that, and we needed that right there.
Go ahead, sir. You were without Kincaid for some, obviously the receivers. Did you have to manage frustration, or did you have to be more patient today because guys just hadn't been out there as much?
No, just trusting the play calls, trusting the guys that were in there, and just trying to run our offense to the best of my ability. And again, I don't feel like I did that today. Wish I had a couple throws back, especially early on, but we'll take 8-2.
We were up in the press box. We were wondering a little bit why you guys weren't running the ball a little bit more, given the receiver situation. It felt like a game where you could have got James and Ray. What you guys were insistent on passing. Can you maybe explain a little bit of that?
I just think just understanding what type of defense they played. They got a pretty good defensive line. We'd love to run it and get a bunch of yards, and we'd love to throw it and get a bunch of yards. So it's just kind of the flow of the game and just trusting what Joe's calling.
Hey, Josh, you obviously are aware of what's next week. 9-0 Kansas City against you guys. What kind of measuring stick will that be for where you guys are at?
It'll be week 11. Again, we're just going to try to put our best foot forward, have a good week of practice, and try to win a football game against a really good football team. It's the biggest one because it's the next one.
What happened on the play? Because it looked like he never saw it.
I'm not sure what he was saying, but I've seen that play before. You know what I'm saying, against a different team, and I played it differently. I mean, we was in a different call too, but in the game I seen it, I played it differently, and I felt like they were expecting me to play it a different way, and I took the ball. And after that, I just scanned the field and took it to the house. Oh, a great block. Yeah. I keep forgetting that I saw that. But, yeah, he had a great block for sure.
Knowing the offense was a bit depleted today, coming away with 4 takeaways, how gratifying is that?
It's huge. I know we're banged up on offense, but you know what I'm saying? Defense came out, and especially in that second half, we made a lot of plays, and I feel like that helped us win for sure.
Taron, does it feel like when they start to come, they come in bunches? I know that you guys have kind of always preached that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would like to think that way, but I mean, you just never know when your opportunity is going to come. So, just making sure that I'm doing everything I can throughout the week to make the play when my opportunity comes.
On the run defense, first half, it was a struggle. Mm-hmm. They were gashing you pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to go away from a little bit in the second half.
Yeah.
But also, you stopped them in the second half too early. What was some of the turnaround there?
I just feel like execution. They threw some things that we really hadn't seen before, and when they tried to come back to it, I feel like we did a good job adjusting and executing.
Taron, just defensively, obviously you guys make the play early on. When you have a play that early, does it change the day? Does it change kind of the way, not your mindset is, but is it like, hey, we can make these plays?
I'll speak for myself. Obviously, yeah, definitely we can make those plays, but at the same time, when it happens that early, I'm like, okay, on to the next play. Because, that was the first play of the game. So I'm like, I still got a whole game to play. So my mindset was just focused on the next play.
Yeah, we had game plan something, we were trying to get it, and just made a bad decision.
Why do you think it's looked this stagnant on offense the last couple of weeks?
Well, today, it was just turnovers mostly. There was times where we could kind of get going, and then we turned the ball over. So.
No, what was that? Were they bad decisions on your part? Do you think generally, or I guess there was one that was an overthrow, or just
I think
what do you think?
The first one was a bad decision, and after that, no. But, stuff happens sometimes. Maybe a bad throw. I'd like to see it. A couple of those things, but the first one was an awful decision. Yep.
On the fourth down play, you kind of held that ball for a while. Just did you not get, the defense you were expecting, or what kind of went into that?
No, yeah. Listen, they did a good job covering everything up and then kind of passing things off, and it's went through the progression and then kind of tried to buy some time and just didn't work out.
Joe, how do you turn the tide offensively moving forward after the past two games?
Well, it's tough. The toughest thing about not playing well is just your mentality, and having to deal with, stand tall and deal with the fact that you're not playing well. And the best way to do that is just go back to work. We have the ability to do what we want. We're just making too many mistakes, and when you do get into a little rut like this, then yeah, it can be tough mentally, but you got to just do all you can to kind of put that aside and go do your job.
Joe, you've been in it a long time, and when quarterbacks struggle sometimes, they change quarterbacks. Were you surprised second half they didn't go to Anthony, or was that never in your mind? You never let that
No, I'm just out there playing, and that's my job on Sundays, is to just go out there and play and continue to be optimistic that we can make the most of this, make the most of the chance. Look, our defense kept us in that game for most of the day. They got some turnovers themselves, and most of the time there it was, within a one score, within a 2-score game. So.
Joe, when there were some boos from the Luxor crowd, you've obviously been around long enough to hear some stuff. But what's your reaction when the crowd?
Yeah, listen, this is a humbling game. This league is tough. You're going to have to deal with, things like that from time to time. It's unfortunate. You don't want to put yourself in that situation, but, we can only look at ourselves. I can only look at myself in terms of why that's happening, and, it is what it is.
Joe, Shane shows some faith in you, obviously, making this change, and, it's a big decision. You feel pressure to come through, I'm sure. If you fall a little short, do you feel like that puts him in a tough spot at all, or is that something you just don't have to think about?
I don't think we're thinking about putting each other in, putting anybody in that locker room is thinking about putting each other in tough spots. You do want to go out there and play well for all of those guys in that locker room and all the coaches and everything like that. I think everybody wants to do that every week. That's what we're out there doing, is playing for the guy next to us. So, when you're not able to come through on that, it doesn't feel, it's a bad feeling. That's part of it, is being able to to put that weight on your shoulders and deal with it, as uncomfortable as it may be. It can be tough to look guys in the eyes and do all those things, but you have to be able to do it in tough times.
As a starting quarterback, how do you, I guess, give them faith or hope or whatever going forward after a couple performances like this?
Yeah, well, you eventually have to turn it and go out there and play well. And like I said earlier, the only way you can do that is keep your head up, high and go out there and attack the week just like you have been doing, and don't change, don't blink. And throughout the week, that may not be enough, but eventually, like I said, you have to go out there and you have to play well and prove that we can, play well enough to win football games.
AD had the best game of his career. How did you guys use him more this game as opposed to all the other games?
I think he probably had a lot more snaps and, was in position to kind of, come up big when he needed to, and he did a good job. He looked comfortable out there, caught the ball well, did a lot of good things. So it's unfortunate that it comes in a game like this where you can't feel as good about it as you want to, but he did a great job.
Throughout your career, has there been any common things you've leaned into to kind of get out of these ruts?
Listen, there's obviously times where I've gone through it, and teams go through it. And like I said, I think the work week is set up so that you can kind of get it out of your system early on in the week. And then you kind of have to weather the storm. There's going to be that little thought in the back of all of our heads, until we get to play again, kind of similar to how it was this week. And you just have to go to work and immerse yourself in that and distract yourself from all the outside noise by just putting your head down and doing what you know how to do.